So this week we've been talking about giant things that people have built. We've talked about many things, and one thing we did talk about was modes of transportation. The one thing we didn't talk about and we missed was a bridge. And a bridge is a way to travel, and they are gigantic things that people build. Well, some of them are gigantic. There can be small ones too. But one of the stories that we will revisit is a story that has a bridge in it and a stinky little guy, a little creature. And that story is the Three Billy Goats Gruff. So do you remember the story where there's three billy goats and their brothers? They want to go to the other side of the bridge or the river on the bridge to get some greener grass. They think it's going to be better. But they didn't know that under that bridge there lived a mean, old, hungry troll. So each little goat tries to go across the bridge, starting with the baby. And each one, the troll comes up and he's going to eat them up. And he is just shaking mad. And the little goat says, "Oh, my brother's bigger." And the middle-sized goat says, "Oh, my brother's bigger." But then the big billy goat comes around and he takes his horns and he butts him off of the bridge. That troll goes off into that cold water. So then they all three get to go and eat the green grass, and that poor old troll has to go right back under his bridge, and he is hungry and cold and wet. Well, anyway, did you hear what the troll lived under? It was a bridge, wasn't it? Now, the bridge, it says in the story, connects two meadows over a river. Okay, that tells us the setting of a story. So the story setting for the Three Billy Goats Gruff is a meadow with a river running between it and another meadow. So I am going to attempt to draw that just really quickly. So I'm going to draw some grass. And I'll just color that in really quickly. And then I'm going to draw some grass on this side with maybe some mountain and just color that in pretty quickly. And then I'll put the water that, remember, it was running in between the two meadows. And I'll just make like that so it can be a quick picture. All right, so there's our river, there's the meadows, so there's our setting. And remember, a setting is the place and the time that a story happens, okay? And I know it says each morning they go and play, and one day they wanted to go to the other side, so it is during the day. So I didn't make it dark, I made it daytime, two meadows, and they were with a river in between, and it was connected by a bridge. Well, Jill Norris, she's the one that told the story that I looked at, and Chris Sexton is the illustrator. So when Chris Sexton went to draw the pictures for this story, the illustrations, she had a picture in her head when she heard the author's words, and that is what she drew. So we can get a lot of where the story is happening from the text, the story that the author is writing, but we can also get some of the information from the illustrations, because a lot of times they will add things to it. Each morning she did the blue sky. She said the two meadows were joined by a bridge with a river running through it. Now, to draw the bridge, she had to really be thinking. Now, the troll lived under the bridge, correct? So he lived under the bridge. So there had to be a spot under the bridge for him to live. One thing that I was listening to in the text was the sound that the goats made when they went across the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. And I think that sound is what made Chris Sexton think about putting the wood planks for the goats to walk on, because that really would make that sound, I believe. So then she added some rocks on the side, and in our story it does not say it adds rocks. So in our story, I'll read what it says in the back of this. It says, "Little Billy Goat Gruff was starving. He started across the bridge first, Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. Just as he reached the center of the bridge, the ugly troll jumped up from under the bridge and growled, "Who is going across my bridge?" Now, I don't know about you, but it didn't say that it arched up. It could have been a flat bridge. So Chris Sexton just said that's the way she wanted her bridge to look. So she made it look in an arch. So when I draw mine, if I'm using the information from the text, I just know pretty much that it goes from one meadow to the other meadow and it goes over the river. So the river runs under it. So I'm going to just draw mine kind of straight. I am going to add those wooden planks because I really do feel like with Chris Sexton that that's what helped the goats make that trip trap sound. Color that in. Now she added some rocks to hers, which I thought was pretty, made it look so much nicer, didn't it, than just a plank of wood bridge running across. But you could add ropes to it. If you're the illustrator, as long as you make sure it goes from one side to the other in the meadow and it can make that trip trap sound, you can actually make that bridge any way you want to as the illustrator. You just have to make sure you pay attention to those author's words. So I've got the illustration. Now I'm going to be the author. I'm going to describe the bridge for you. Okay, the color of my bridge is brown. It is made with wood planks so that I get that trip trap sound. So I have made brown wood planks. It is fairly long because my river is pretty wide. So it's a fairly long bridge. And it's not very tall. It's rather short. It goes right with the land. It doesn't arch up. It doesn't go down. It just goes right straight across. So it's pretty, I'd say short to medium in the size. It's a rectangle shape. I was noticing I made a rectangle shape and it has rectangle planks in it. All right, so your assignment is to take one of the bridge pictures that I've given you on your seesaw assignment and to describe, you're the author, describe that bridge to me, describe that setting, describe the place where the story takes happen, and don't forget the time. Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? What's the weather? Is it snowy, so could it be winter? Is it sunny, so it could be a nice spring or summer day? Be sure and say all of those things when you describe it. Tell me the materials. Tell me the height. How tall? How long is your bridge? What's it made of? I can't wait to hear you be an author.